Aho, just sitting here and just did my little gratitude journal, tried to do some work, and the lappity toppity needs to, do I know how to zoom? Everybody bear with me. Is it a joystick? There it is. Do we see in the corner? Yes, I have a toilet in my office. It's updating. So, therefore, perfect opportunity to go ahead and get some beautiful morning movement since the sun is beckoning anyway. Shall we? Just gonna grab some shoes, maybe even running shoes. You never know what will happen. Maybe that's it. We'll just start a little morning movement outdoor walk on the iPhone and step outside. If I can remember how to unlock my mouse. There we go. I've had a little coffee, but not enough apparently. All right. It is a bright and beautiful day in Orlando. Always the second I step outside and see this, every single time, I'm like, I live here. What? I feel like I literally live in a Disney movie. It's like Toy Story skies, palm trees, beautiful weather, and like doesn't matter if laptop needs an update. The second you step outside and you live here, you're like, oh right, that's paradise. Why would I be stressed about anything ever? And that's one of the tricks of the morning movement in my mind, is just interrupting yourself occasionally, getting the blood flowing. And usually if you're getting stressed during the day, I feel like it's because you're up here, when if you kind of just bring it down to a nice embodied movement, you realize life is not so bad. Everything's fine actually. And I just realized my music cut out because it was music on YouTube, and then I walked away from YouTube. So let me see if I can get a little music in my ear. One trick I do love to use, by the way, if you've not thought of this, is using music to kind of like trigger different things, movement, mood, productivity, etc. So I was just listening to like neural beats for focus in the morning. Now I just started my warm-up playlist, which just kind of triggers me like, oh, we're out, we're getting movement. If I wanted to take it up into a jog, I'd probably do something a little higher tempo. I have certain like let's go songs for chin-ups and things at the gym. So just something to think about, that you can use kind of like the beats per minute, just like a runner might, for their pace, for just kind of like stuff all throughout your day. So when I get back and I want to focus again, I'll probably go back into something calmer, chiller, maybe neural beats again. Sometimes just silence is better for me as well. Can't have AirPods in my ears 24/7. But yeah, just love when, let me see, yeah, it's gonna work. I can get my steps, get a little sun in my eyes. I mentioned this in my other kind of like morning routine video, that I think the way that adults sleep in is going to bed early, and then when you get up, if you find like your sleep is kind of shit, you're only a couple days away from better sleep, as long as when you get up you get some light in your eyes right away. That basically starts your circadian clock, which is like the clock that regulates 24-hour cycles in the body. So as soon as your eyes see light, and don't wear sunglasses in the morning for this purpose, don't like stare at the sun, but just get some light in your eyes, and you'll see after a couple days that just kind of naturally around sunset you start to kind of get sleepy, especially if you also take a walk during sunset. You know, we didn't used to have electricity when we lived in caves, and yet we woke up and we had days and we fell asleep. So our bodies have adapted to be very responsive to light, and that also is helpful when you travel. I'll be doing this, I do it anyway, but I'll for sure do this in about a couple weeks when we fly first to Hawaii, as like a stopover point, and then onward to Japan to help with jet lag, because my body will be like, dude, it's morning or it's night, and I'll be like, no, we're in a new place, let's wake up here. And so I'll have to like get that light in my eyes to kind of help my brain and body get on that new time zone more effectively. And my first song just went into my second song. It's a little higher tempo, which usually gets me walking a little bit faster. I usually have to really like stop myself from jogging once the tempo goes up. So I have a little route that I do. It's kind of like a kilometer out to a dock with some water, and then I do some mobility there, and then depending on my vibe and my recovery, I might do some jogging or sprinting intervals on the way back. So typically I do just one take on these, but I don't want to talk for 80 years, although I absolutely could. Let me know if you like a long yap and I can just keep on talking, but for now, I'll stop this and I'll pick it back up and string those clips together later. And then I shut off the camera and I just started walking with it, and it fell to the ground. So this is the test to make sure the camera's still working. Cool. And here we are. So we've got about a kilometer of walking. Let's switch into some flexibility. Boop. And I'll just show you some simple, just me, or do we not need the quick start on the new update? Some mobility that I like to do out here while just taking in this beauty. You can sit right here. Let's see. I don't want you to fall into the water though, so I'm going to move you over just a bit. Inchworms and some down dogs. Maybe one leg up, some hip circles, into a run. And we can do some T-spine mobility. And into a squat. To a hinge, into an overhead reach. I'll put you at the other end so you can see what it looks like from the other direction. And so that I can make sure you don't fall into the water. Let's do the other side. Runner stretch over here, and some T-spine. So I'm really just thinking of my major joints. I want to warm up my hips, my ankles, and my shoulders. And I already have blood flow from the walk, so it's a perfect time. And from there, maybe the next time I get down here and I bring a leg up, maybe I bring it through, but this time I come into maybe a little 90-90. So legs at 90 degrees, 90 degrees. This is such a good hip opener. I do this before all squat patterns, a lot of hinge patterns. But it also just feels good first thing in the morning. And it doesn't really matter what I do. I'm just enjoying the sun, enjoying nature. Sometimes I'll change the vibe of my music. And I'm just doing whatever feels good, really. And maybe some more T-spine openers. Maybe bringing that up to a windmill. You can do that both ways. Do some shoulder circles. And then I might just enjoy looking at this for a minute. It's hard to look at that and not take a nice deep breath. Maybe think about what I want out of my day. And then from there, I'm pretty warmed up. So, medication reminder, I'll take my supplements when I get home. So then let's switch to, maybe, we'll see how I'm feeling. It's an upper body day, so maybe an outdoor run could feel okay. Just a couple intervals. Let's get it. If I can remember how to close up. Ooh, that's what I did wrong. I unlocked the camera from the tripod, and then it just went flying, which we do not want to repeat. All right, chorus is hitting. Generally jog on the higher tempo chorus and then walk in between. Back to walking. That moment when you realize that messy bun you put up upon waking up is far too floppy for jogging, but you don't have an extra hand, so you go for it anyway. What a beautiful day. And that's honestly most mornings how I get a little movement, a little blood flow, a little sun in my eyes, and then, like I said, 2 to 3 days later, my sleep is magically regulated. How do you manage your sleep and your stress and your recovery? This is just one idea. If you have more, please share them below. Have a great day.